I think realism is amazing and important, but I like pushing it beyond that. Or I want to push it beyond that because, I don't know, real life kind of sucks sometimes. Kia ora, I'm Matasila Freshwater and I'm a writer-director for animation and live action, and these are my top 5 films that inspire me.
You wouldn't have any peanut butter and banana sandwiches now, would you?
It was very whimsical and strange, and I think in New Zealand cinema we hadn't seen enough of that in our history. I think we always get told that our cinema is one of unease and it's this dark, brooding thing because we're so isolated from the rest of the world, which is not true. We're like literally connected to so many islands around us. I think whimsy and silliness can really straddle a wonderful line where you can touch on big, serious themes in a accessible and interesting way that you may not have seen before. And actually, like so many Indigenous cultures, straddle that line between spirituality and realism, and so that's such a fun, beautiful place to tell stories from.
What you looking at me like that for? What, man? Come on, you just drove down here?
When there's a coming out story, there's a lot of familiarity that we have with that sort of narrative, but because of the specific cultural lens, it adds a layer that we haven't seen before. And especially when we have so many stories that are universal and that we do understand, and that actually the specificity of the lens is important and beautiful.
At the start, people used to look at me, in utter disbelief when I talked about filming. And I think it was because there are not only no Māori filmmakers in the country, but the fact that I was also a woman.
I wanted to pick a meta-to-mita film, but I think what everyone should go watch is the documentary her son Hepi Mita made about her. I watched that film right before I went to go shoot my portion of Vai, and I was so terrified and scared, and I had grown this grey scale on my face out of stress, and I was like, it's cancer and I'm gonna die and everything's the worst. But then I watched that doco at NZIFF, and it was all I needed to be like, we can do this, and women are amazing, and Indigenous women are amazing, and yeah, it was beautiful.
What? Hey!
The premise is super batshit and insane, but the heart is so strong and so sensitive and really weirdly beautiful, and I really love that tone and balance. Like, it's absolutely silly, but it talks about stuff that's incredibly important. We're here to watch a film to take us to a place in a new place and give us a new experience. Live action absolutely can do it, but doesn't do it as much. If I saw that as a young kid, I would have lost my mind. Like, I lost my mind as an adult, being like, holy crap, this is what we can do. Like, we could tell these stories and they can be international and they can be at a huge scale and they can be culturally important and fun and empowering. There's a lot of criticism about sort of amalgamating Pacific cultures as one and sort of taking and choosing bits and pieces of each. I think it's how do we have cultural exchange versus cultural appropriation, and I think that is a step in the right direction. It absolutely was not perfect, but I think it's a good way to talk about how we can sort of even out equity and power balances. I think it's an interesting thing to talk about, especially as we move forward in this industry and we want to work with more diverse people, and then how do we honour their stories and their collaboration and their process.